Shalom. Kohalo Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. And I came across this post a little earlier, and spirit jumped on me to do a lesson on it. Pretty much showing you that, this truth is getting out, man. Jake on every level, he's hearing this truth, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. In this truth, there are going to be Jakes from all walks of life that, are going to get in this thing, are going to get in this truth, and, they're going to declare the truth, in their, perspective is going to be in tune with what the scriptures say. And the Lord is going to pour out his spirit upon all flesh, as he said he would do in Joel. And that's what you see happening. So you got this comedian, Eddie Griffin. Me personally, I think he's funny. And these celebrities, they know. They know the truth, man. But you have this comedian, Eddie Griffin. He's at a show in London. He's doing a show in London. And he's a comedian, so he's going to put things in a comedic way, but the things that he's saying is spot on. And, I'm pretty sure it was a big show. So you had Jake in that audience that probably got it. And some of the heathens that even got it. But then you have some that just think it's comedy. But the Lord is moving, man. The Lord's spirit is covering the earth by way of this truth and judgment. And it's going to increase, man. So let me get this before I play it. I want to read this before I play it. This is Ezekiel, because this is pretty much what you see happening, man. Right? Ezekiel chapter 37 and 1. It says, "The hand of the Lord was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones." Right? So it's going to explain what the bones are, man. If you see a bunch of bones on the ground, it pretty much means a dead body was there. It says, "And caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry." Right? Meaning, if you find a bunch of bones that are very dry, that means them bones have been there for a long time, just, dead and dry. Like, nothing going on, right? Nothing spectacular about it, right? Well, let's keep reading. It says, "And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord, thou knowest." Now you would say, bones, how can bones live, right? It says, "Again, he saith unto me, Prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord." So bones can't hear the words of the Lord, man. Actual bones. That means that this would have to be a spiritual, right? What was it? A dark saying, right? Something spiritual about this, right? It says, verse 5, "Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter unto you, and ye shall live." So now we get into the meat of the thing, right? Because you have dry bones laid out in a big, huge valley, right? And now these bones are, no longer being dried, no longer dry, but now they're having breath, you know, now they're being breathed on, and now they are, you know, coming to life. It says, and I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Right? So it says, so I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. So now you got bones that are coming together, coming into place, right? Starting to connect, right? It says, and when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came up upon them, and the skin covered them above, and there was no breath in them. Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua power, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came unto them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army. So now these bones that were once dry, now they have the breath of life on it, right? And now they're coming together and exceeding great army, right? Let's see what is going into, is about to tell you. It says, then then he said unto me, O son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Right? Behold, they say, our bones are dried, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. So that's what it was going into. The dry bones is the spiritual, right? Death, the spiritual dryness that the house of Israel had, right? Because when you don't have the spirit of the Lord, when you don't have the words of the Lord in you, you're dry, you're dead. But then when the spirit and the word of the Lord is put on you, you become alive again, right? Now you are a circuit that is working perfectly, right? You're no longer dead. You're no longer a dry bone, right? So this whole house of Israel, who's the house of Israel? The so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. By the way, Eddie Griffin is one of them. Now, like I said in the beginning, these celebs, right, they know the truth. Jake in the comedic industry, the entertainment industry, period, right, they know the truth. How do they know the truth? Because the words of the Lord through the prophets have been breathing on Jake, waking Jake up throughout the four corners of the earth. This is why you have many Israelites waking up by the boatloads daily, man. Because the word of the Lord is breathing life back into them, man. They're no longer dry. They're no longer worldly. That's what it means to be a dry bone. You're in the world. You have nothing going on. You're not alive, man. You're in darkness, right? And 2/3 of our people are going to still be in darkness and still remain dry, right? So it says, therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, behold, O my people, I will open your graves, meaning your mind, right? And cause you to come up out of your graves, right, into life, and bring you into the land of Israel. That's our homeland, man. America is not our homeland. We're not a damn FBA, man. It says, and ye shall know that I am the Lord when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves. And that's what the Lord is doing, man. Right? On a massive scale. And it has these devils and it has these other nations fearing for their damn life, man. They are in fear right now. Right? They are in fear, man. So, you know, it's a lot here for the long introduction, but I had to get that out, man. And I got some more. So let's play this. Yahweh Shem Yahushua willing to like be edified. Shalom.
Go to church yesterday for Easter. Who the fuck came up with Easter? And what's the fuck the rabbit and the egg got to do with each other? I ain't never seen no rabbit motherfucker shit an egg out his ass. And Jesus ain't down with no rabbits or eggs. Jesus is down with niggas because he was a nigga. I'm sorry, white people. It's your turn. Jesus was a nigga.
See? And they was laughing, but it was kind of a hesitant laugh. You're like, like, oh no, he knows, you know? Because the Lord, if he walked the earth today, they would call him a nigga, man. The scriptures tell you what he looked like, man. This is why, and you got Jake that say this too. We don't care what he looked like, but it's in the Bible, so it matters, man. It don't matter what he looked like. Esau, hey, he's a spirit. No, man, the scriptures tell you what he looked like. And he said, white people, it's your turn. What? It's your turn to drink of the cup. It's your turn to go into slavery, man. It's your turn to get all the recompenses that you poured out on the earth. All that you have sown, you're going to reap.
The scripture in the Bible said so. It said he had skin of bronze, hair like sheep's wool. That's a motherfucking afro. I've yet to see a sheep go, bow. You know it was a nigga, he had 12 partners. White people don't roll that deep. You know it was a nigga. One of them snitched on it. White people don't snitch on each other. You know anything about that? I already talked about attorney, you cocksucker. I'm gonna sue you. A nigga about to snitch quick. He's about to give you 24 years. That nigga name is Earl James. He live on 12th Street in Social Security numbers 538 77 1999. I don't know the nigga that well. The Bible's filled with stories of niggas. Ain't no white people in that Bible except the Romans. Yeah, you something.
And there are Romans in the Bible. I don't know if he's referring to the book of Romans, but the book of Romans were written to Israelites that dwelt in Rome, right? But you did have, when you go into you know, the book of the Apocrypha, when you go into the book of the first Maccabees, first and second Maccabees, you know, it speaks on the Greeks. And you know, the Greeks and the Romans, those are the same people, man. They're all Edomites. Edomites are in the Bible, but what the Bible says about Edom is nothing good coming for Edom, man. This is why the so-called white man, he has to bring confusion, right? This is why he has to come with his doctrine and try to get people to stay confused, but it's not going to work, man. Right? Because what the Lord is doing right now is gathering, you know, his elect. And we at the end of that, man. The elect is almost sealed. And this is why all hell is breaking loose on the planet, man. And it's going to continue to get worse and worse, man. So sooner or later, this devil, he ain't going to have nothing but his blessing, which is the sword. And he's going to try to completely eradicate you Israelites, but it's not going to work. Right?
Moses was a nigga. I ain't never met a white man named Moses. I know just Moses Malone used to play for the 76ers. Ain't no Moses. Ain't no Joshua's. Them is all nigga names. Ain't no Timothy, Scott, Bob, Thomas. Niggas. Story of niggas is the Bible. Nigga Adam was a nigga too. Yeah, he was. He was a large nigga too. He was the original nigga, first nigga God made. He named him a bitch and that bitch snitched. He had him out naming shit tree, rock, bird. Nigga came back, that bitch in the tree. Go to church yesterday.
So, that was it, man. So he was putting it in a comedic way to throw it off. Some people got it and some people didn't. But you see the caption, Christianity got you worshiping the wrong, and his name ain't Christ. Christ just means anointed. His name is Yahushua, man. Right? So let's get what else is happening, man. This is Isaiah chapter 34, because this is how we know the Lord, man. This is Isaiah 34. Let me do something real quick. This is Isaiah 34 and verse 16. It says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail, man. So none of the prophecies in the Bible is going to fail, man. It says, none shall want her make. Can't no other book compare to the Bible. The Bible is the number one book on the planet and will always remain the number one book and the most controversial book on the planet, man. It says, for my mouth it have commanded, and his spirit it have gathered them. So what you see is a gathering, man. The Israelites are gathering through the spirit of the Lord throughout the four corners of the earth, man. And these devils are scared, right? They're scared, man. This is Zephaniah, because this is what's about to happen, man. Matter of fact, let me get Matthew. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 10. It said, and then, Salakia, verse 12. No, Salakia. This is Matthew 24 and verse, where I'm at. Verse 14, it said, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Look, brother, it says all nations. No, that's because the Israelites were scattered into all nations. The Israelites are throughout the four corners of the earth. So therefore, this gospel has to be preached throughout the four corners of the earth. How is that happening? Through the internet, right? The circuit, right? That's how it's being preached throughout the whole earth, man. Right? And it is being preached throughout the whole earth. This is why the end is here. Right? Let's get on 2nd Esdras chapter 6. Try to run through these real quick. I don't want this to be too long. 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and verse 27. It says, for evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome. So you got brothers and a few sisters that are coming into that uncorruptible spirit, man. that's not full of corruption, meaning full of the world, man. It says, as for faith, it shall flourish, man, because you have a lot of people that have hope in what? The scriptures. That have faith in what? The scriptures, man. It says, and the truth, meaning this gospel, the truth that is flowing through the four corners of the earth, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared, man. And it's being declared throughout the whole earth, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's not gonna stop, man. You got these kids tripping out here. Right? So this truth is being declared, and the fruit that is bearing is spreading like wildfire, man. You know? And Jake is through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua declaring it, man, with his mouth. Right? So let's get this last one, because ultimately this is what's going to happen, man. This is Zephaniah. Zephaniah chapter 3. Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 20. It says, at that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gathered you, for I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth, when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith the Lord. And that's what's happening, man. We're coming out of, we're in the last little bit of our captivity, man. And you see it, man, because the you got thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of brothers and sisters waking up daily, man, hourly, and there's nothing these devils can do, man. So we love it, man. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful time to be living in. And you know, I'm not saying that just because, you know, you got this brother up here bringing it out in his comedy show, but when you go on YouTube, when you go on social media, it's flooded with the Israelites, man. The teachings of the prophets and the servants, right? So, hey, man, we in beautiful times, man. Just keep just keep at it, man, because we soon to be up out of here. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. To the next lesson, Shalom.
That bitch snitched. You had him out naming shit tree, rock, bird. Nigga came back, that bitch in the tree. Go to church yesterday.